Birdman looks like he's fading right in front of us, falling asleep mid-performance while the whole world watches. The man who built one of hip-hop's biggest empires from the mud is now watching it crumble under lawsuits, shady moves, and painful L's. His tragedy isn't death, it's watching his own legacy slowly fall apart for everyone to see. Now let's talk about the downfall. In 2025, people started worrying heavy about Birdman's physical and mental health. The OG wasn't looking too good, and the streets caught on quick. During the Hot Boys reunion tour, the long-awaited comeback featuring Birdman, Lil Wayne, Juvenile, Turk, and BG, it was supposed to be legendary. Their first full squad performance since 2000, a major moment for the culture. But instead of celebrating, fans were shook after a viral clip dropped showing Birdman nodding off right there on stage. The 56-year-old's head just dropped out of nowhere, and he stayed frozen for like 15 seconds behind Turk. BG had to tap him mid-performance to wake him up. The clip spread everywhere. Fans couldn't believe it. The comments flooded in, people telling Birdman to put the cup down, hinting at that codeine and promethazine mix that's been part of Southern hip-hop for decades. Others said maybe it was just age catching up, comparing him to other industry vets like Irv Gotti and Fat Man Scoop who've had health struggles too.
Ain't no nigga hurt me worse than I already been hurt. I lost my mama, my daddy, my brother, my sister, my grandmother, my grandfather, my grandmothers on both sides, my partners. I'm already dead, nigga, inside. So this little funny shit that I chose music, I'm not tripping.
Turk tried to shut the rumors down, saying, "I don't know what be going on, man. I be in Turk's world doing what I'm doing. They gonna always turn something into something that ain't." BG laughed it off on Drink Champs, saying the crew thought it was all jokes. But then, boom! A few months later, in October 2025, another clip from a Harlem event showed Birdman nodding off again. The internet exploded all over again. His team said it was just exhaustion from nonstop touring, but fans weren't buying it. The talk kept spinning. Lean relapse, seizures, or something even deeper. People were really getting scared for the big homie's health. And then, like the drama wasn't enough, word started spreading about his rocky marriage with Toni Braxton. Turns out, they secretly tied the knot in August 2024, only for Toni to file for divorce 2 weeks later. The case got dismissed by January 2025, so technically they're still married. But both deleted each other's pics from social media, and Toni ditched her wedding ring. Total chaos. Then in October 2025, Braxton broke her silence, finally speaking out about those so-called cash money death rituals. She made it clear she wasn't talking about literal voodoo or any dark magic. But the way she said it, it had everyone raising eyebrows. The situation was wild, and the internet couldn't stop talking. Toni Braxton claimed those so-called death rituals were really just symbols of a toxic system running deep inside Cash Money. She said it wasn't just business, it was a whole lifestyle. Loyalty was everything, and they proved it through wild displays. Matching tattoos, men kissing each other in public, everybody calling Birdman daddy.
I was born in poverty. I was raised by junkies and in boys' home all my life. So I just thought maybe I'm just a chosen. The boys' home, I went straight to the streets. Cause my pa, he got shot up and he went to jail for a murder. So right after that, the streets became my life. I chose that.
And flashing rows of luxury cars while counting stacks on camera like trophies. It looked like flexing. But behind the scenes, it was control. These so-called rituals stripped artists of their independence and identity. And if you stepped out of line, you were done. Either pushed out or wiped clean from the roster like you never existed. Braxton described it like a secret society, one where you had to prove your loyalty before you could even shine. And all those expensive gifts, according to her, they weren't acts of love. They were chains of control. That's straight cult behavior. Braxton believed that same toxic energy ended up destroying Birdman himself. She claimed it started showing through those 2025 onstage episodes everyone saw online. Insiders close to her said they saw it as signs of either a lean relapse or something darker, like the bad karma from his own empire turning against him. It's like the world he built started eating him alive. For Toni, staying tied to that energy made her own health spiral. She'd already battled lupus and heart surgery complications, and being around that chaos only made it worse. She had to get out, for her peace and her survival. But Birdman didn't stay quiet. Reports said he fired back, calling her a gold digger who wanted half of his $160 million fortune. And get this, he allegedly accused her of pawning her $5 million engagement ring. The internet split right down the middle. Some people backed Birdman's side, saying he was just protecting what's his, while others felt for Braxton, saying she was escaping something truly toxic.
Can't no nigga hurt me worse than I already been hurt. I lost my mama, my daddy, my brother, my sister, my grandmother, my grandfather, my grandmothers on both sides, my partners. I'm already dead, nigga, inside. So this little funny shit that I chose music, I'm not tripping.
Then, December 2025 hit and the drama got even louder. Rumors started flying that Birdman was creeping with Tony's sister, Tamar, but both of them shut that down fast. Tamar said she's the one who even introduced Birdman to Tony in the first place, calling him family. That had fans wondering if maybe, just maybe, Tony and Birdman were still together low-key. Between the eerie rituals, the health scares, and the wrecked marriage, it all painted a picture of a man being swallowed by his own empire. The same energy he put into building Cash Money was now eating him from the inside out, because when that kind of energy comes back around, it doesn't ask permission, it just hits. To understand how Birdman ended up here, though, you gotta rewind to where it all started. Back to the mud, back to the struggle. Brian Christopher Brooks was born February 15, 1969, in New Orleans, Louisiana, right in the heart of the Magnolia Projects. That spot was known for poverty, street life, and raw survival. He grew up with 10 brothers and 12 sisters, so chaos was normal. His mom, Gladys Brooks, was his anchor through it all. Birdman would later call her Miss Gladys, giving her credit for whatever little bit of stability he had. But even that stability was fragile. By just 14, Birdman was already deep in the game, getting serious street money. He bragged about seeing his first milli before he even turned 15, and it wasn't from music, it was from hustling in the trenches. At 16, things got real when he and his stepbrother caught a heroin possession and distribution case. That move cost him 18 months locked up. Fast forward to 1991, Birdman was 22, fresh out and hungry for a new hustle. That's when he and his brother Ronald Slim Williams founded Cash Money Records, starting from the ground up. The label began as a small-time independent grind, pushing that raw New Orleans bounce sound. Slim had dropped out in 7th grade, but Birdman always said his brother was a genius when it came to stacking and flipping money. Together, they had vision and the streets were watching. They built the iconic Hot Boy Squad, Juvenile, BG, Turk, and a young Lil Wayne, who Birdman discovered when Wayne was just 9 years old. A little kid with bars and hunger beyond his age, Birdman took him under his wing early, treating him like a son, and the next big thing. By 1998, their hustle paid off. Cash Money scored a massive $30 million deal with Universal Records. Albums like Guerrilla Warfare and hits like Bling Bling turned them into global superstars. The whole rap game was talking about them.
20. Universal gave me $30 million. I thought I was dreaming, brother. Like, I couldn't believe that I had this much money. I made $2.5 billion with Universal, and they made $800 million off of me. Ain't none of these ever saw a B.
You kept the lights on over there pretty much.
Ain't no seen no B in this shit.
But just when things were going up, life hit Birdman hard. His father, Johnny Williams, died in a car crash in 1996. Another tragedy added to a life already weighed down by pain and loss. Birdman later talked about how those dark moments shaped him, how all that hurt turned him cold and focused on survival over everything. By his early 20s, he had gone from the projects to signing multi-million-dollar contracts with Universal. He couldn't even believe it was real. The 2000s took things to a new level. Lil Wayne became a megastar with his Carter series, while Cash Money brought in new legends like Drake and Nicki Minaj. The empire was printing money. Racks on racks on racks. Birdman's net worth peaked around $160 million, and he even claimed that over the years, he and Universal made a total of $2.5 billion together. That's wild! But success always comes with a cost. Birdman himself admitted that early on, he didn't know the business side like that. He was learning as he went, and that lack of game would come back to haunt him. The same moves that built his empire were the ones that later caused it to crack. What started as minor money mix-ups and broken promises eventually exploded into full-blown beefs, lawsuits, and public fallouts. The come-up was official, but the downfall was quietly loading in the background. See, Cash Money Records became known for two things: making hits and allegedly finessing artists. The label built a reputation for holding up albums, underpaying talent, and using pressure to keep everyone in check. The pattern was too familiar. Artists would sign, blow up big, and then go public claiming Birdman and Slim were playing them out of their money. The most heartbreaking fallout of Birdman's career came from the one person everyone thought would never turn on him, Lil Wayne, the same kid he raised from a young age, the one he called his son. But in 2015, that bond shattered when Wayne hit Birdman with a $51 million lawsuit. He claimed Birdman never paid him the advances and royalties he was owed. Even worse, Wayne said Birdman pocketed more than half of a $100 million deal with Universal. That shook the industry to its core. The lawsuit cracked open the image of family that Birdman always promoted. Wayne accused him of teaming up with Universal to freeze him out of the profits. It wasn't just a legal war, it was personal. Years went by with lawyers fighting back and forth until they finally reached a settlement in 2018. Birdman later admitted that the whole thing was one of his biggest regrets ever. He said he eventually pulled up to Wayne's house and gave him more than what he was asking for, trying to make things right. But Wayne wasn't the only one who felt played. The list kept growing. Juvenile, BG, Manny Fresh, and a bunch of others all came forward claiming they got done dirty too. They said Birdman trapped them in shady contracts, 80-20 splits, sneaky recoupment tricks, and ghost royalties that never showed up. If you spoke out, your album got shelved or you got blackballed. Simple as that.
Fresh, I just wanted to have a clearing relationship with people that I started the business with.
Right.
Everybody that I started with, I'm in good space with them. Fresh know what I did. Now know what I did. Wayne know what I did. If not, you think they'll be fucking with me?
Yeah.
They fucking with me for a reason.
Birdman later admitted he made mistakes early on, saying he was new to the business side and didn't really understand publishing. But still, those old deals kept haunting him. Manny Fresh, the mastermind behind Cash Money's signature bounce sound, eventually left over money in publishing disputes too. Birdman tried to explain it away, saying he didn't know better back then, but fans weren't letting it slide. Online, people started comparing him to Diddy and Suge Knight, saying he built his empire through control and manipulation. Some even labeled him one of the grimiest figures in hip-hop history. Birdman fired back, saying people only see what they want to see, but the internet had already made up its mind. And then came the most uncomfortable part, the stuff that still gets people talking. There's that early 2000s clip showing Birdman kissing a young Lil Wayne on the lips. Birdman later said it was father-son type love, but fans were creeped out. It didn't sit right with a lot of people. Then it got even darker.
Me and Fresh was on the phone, right? And I was telling Fresh, bro, I swear to God, I ain't know nothing about this publishing shit. I didn't know. And Fresh used to be like, cause Fresh was on before me.
Right.
And he was like, Stunner, bro, we got publishing money, bro. We supposed to be getting raw.
Wayne once revealed that Birdman arranged for him to have an encounter with a grown woman when he was just 11 years old. He said it like it was normal, but many people saw it for what it really was. Predatory behavior. Critics called it straight up grooming and abuse, and that revelation cast a long shadow over their entire relationship. Back in 2010, Birdman and Slim tried to flip their hustle into a whole new lane. They launched Broad Oil and Gas LLC, claiming they were jumping into the energy game. But when people started digging for proof, nobody could find a single sign the company actually did anything. No offices, no production, no movement, nothing but paperwork. Birdman even got a pump jack tattoo to make it look official. But the streets started whispering that the business was just a front for clout. Still, through all the noise, Birdman stood tall, swearing that his wins outweighed the losses and that no one in the industry has put more people on than him. He truly believes he's the GOAT when it comes to blessing others. But behind all the flexing, things got dark. The money beefs were one thing, but rumors of bodies and betrayal circling Birdman's inner circle, that's the kind of smoke that can stain a man's name forever. Birdman always said, when you move like a boss, the streets follow you, even into the boardroom. And in his case, that line hit way too close to home. Back in the late 90s, when Cash Money was first blowing up, violence kept shadowing the label. Artist Yellow Boy was killed in 1997 after a heated dispute, and a year later, Kilo G was murdered too. The streets started connecting those tragedies to Birdman's alleged get-back moves, though, just to be clear, no charges ever stuck. Still, those whispers never really went away. Then came the wildest allegation of all. April 2015. Lil Wayne's tour bus got shot up in Atlanta after a show. Bullets hit the bus, but thankfully nobody got hurt. When court docs from Cobb County dropped, they hit like a bomb. James Pee Wee Roscoe Carlton, one of Young Thug's associates, was indicted on 30 counts, including aggravated assault. Investigators said phone records linked Birdman, Thug, and the shooter, calls happening right before and after the hit. The indictment painted it like a revenge plot, retaliation for Wayne's $51 million lawsuit against Birdman and Cash Money. Prosecutors claimed Birdman and Thug had allegedly plotted to take Wayne out. Birdman's name was all over the paperwork, but he was never charged. He denied everything, calling it straight cap. The shooter, Jimmy Winfrey, ended up catching a 10-year sentence, but the questions around Birdman's role never really disappeared. The chaos didn't stop there. Birdman's signing of Young Thug to Rich Gang allegedly sparked a whole war with Rich homie Quan, and that beef got deadly fast. Reports linked it to the shooting of Quan's father and the murder of rival label head Big Nut, an event that allegedly helped spark over 50 killings across Atlanta between 2014 and 2016. The streets were on fire, and somehow Cash Money's name kept getting dragged into the middle of it all. Then in 2017, one of Birdman's own artists, BTY Young N, was shot and killed in New Orleans in what many called a suspicious hit. Fans noticed Birdman wiped his entire Instagram clean right after posting a short RIP tribute. People started asking, why scrub your whole timeline right after your artist gets taken out? What was he trying to hide? The timing had everyone side-eyeing him hard. But maybe the deepest wound of all didn't come from an enemy. It came from family. Not Slim, but Birdman's other brother, Terrence "Gangsta" Williams. Terrence was allegedly doing Birdman's dirty work back in the day. Rumors say he was moving heavy in the streets, linked to over 20 bodies before catching a life sentence. Word around the block was that Birdman helped put him on that path when they were both still young and reckless. That blood tie, mixed with street business and betrayal, left a permanent scar on Birdman's name. It was no longer just about music or money. By this point, the story of Birdman wasn't about an empire built from the mud. It was about a man trying to hold on while his own legacy got tangled in secrets, violence, and ghosts from his past. By 2001, Terrence "Gangsta" Williams was putting in serious work, allegedly under Birdman's direction. But when Terrence got out in 2024 after cooperating with the feds, Birdman cut him off completely. He said his brother broke the street code, and that was it. Critics called it cold-blooded. Terrence sat behind bars for over 20 years for moves tied to Birdman's world. And the moment he flipped for freedom, his own blood left him on red. The streets had plenty to say about that. Birdman always stood firm on loyalty. In interviews, he's made it clear he'll do whatever it takes to protect what he built. That same energy exploded in 2016 when he stormed into the Breakfast Club studio and got in Charlemagne the God's face with that now legendary line, "Put some respect on my name." That moment went viral and stamped Birdman's legacy as a man who refuses to be disrespected. Between the bodies, plots, and family betrayals, Birdman's empire looks more like a survival story than a success one. Yet through it all, he's still standing tall, mentoring new artists, stacking paper, and proving that the bag never stops. Right now, he's guiding NBA YoungBoy, saying the young star's destined for a $300 million deal and a historic run. Birdman sees in him what he once saw in Wayne and Thug, pure, raw greatness. Still, even legends get tired. Birdman's hinted that he's ready to chill after wrapping a final project with Lil Wayne. Like father, like son too. He's done rapping himself, but still flexes that he eats better than most in the game. He's even admitted he wishes he'd gone to college, saying the Wayne beef took a real emotional toll. His bag's still heavy though. After a few hits, like losing his $12 million Miami mansion, Birdman bounced back big. In 2025, reports dropped that he bought a $42 million waterfront palace to prove the decline talk was all cap. His catalog alone still prints $20 to $40 million a year, and that's just passive money. Birdman says the industry never gave him his flowers, blaming it on where he came from. But his story, man, it's heavy. The lawsuits, the health scares, the family drama, the betrayals, it's all added up. The tragedy ain't about dying, it's about living with everything you built while surrounded by the damage it caused. That's the real L right there. If you like this breakdown, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe.